So good morning all. Today we are going to discuss a few numericals regarding this reflex klystron, what we have discussed last class. There are few derivations are left. Only one derivation is left, that is about mode of curve. And with respect to that, we will also solve few numericals. But whatever the derivation we have discussed in the last class, according to that, I have framed few questions which will help you people to understand how that formulas are going to be utilized when these sort of questions are asked. Okay, so it is all about the velocity modulation, all about the output power measurement, input power measurement, efficiency, and velocity modulation, transit time. Sometime transit time calculation is also going to be asked, and the total time period, what is the total time period for a bunching of electrons and all, and how to calculate bunching parameters, what are the factors are there, those things we will discuss in today's session. So first I have took one question for you people, that a reflex klystron operate at a peak n equals to 2. n equals to 2. n equals to 2 itself indicates that the number of mode is 2. With beam voltage 300 volt and a beam current of 20 milliampere. So beam voltage, DC beam voltage is 300 volt is given, and DC current is 20 milliampere is given. Okay, and a signal voltage of 40 volts. Signal voltage means that RF voltage. Okay, VRF, that with respect to that gap, whatever the signal is providing to that cavity gap is 40 volt is given. Okay, and here we have to identify, find the input power, output power, and what is its efficiency. Done. Now for simplicity, let me draw a box in which we are providing input and we are getting some output. This is a black box. Let us consider. Let this black box is a reflex klystron, RK. So in this input we are providing as a DC beam voltage VDC and DC beam current IDC. Done. So that means my input is PDC is equals to VDC into IDC. So this is my input current, DC beam voltage. And what we are getting at the output? We are getting output as an RF current, RF potential and current. So here the output I will determine PRF, or you can say it is called PAC. Done. Now efficiency is what? Efficiency is output power by input power into 100. But what is the output power? It is RF output power divided by PDC into 100. So these are the three calculations we have to calculate for the given example, for the given question. Okay, so step by step we will see. So this is the solution. So first I need to calculate the input power. So bit A, input power. So input power to the reflex klystron is depend upon PDC, which is equals to DC beam voltage and to DC beam current. So DC beam voltage is 300 and DC beam current is 20 milliampere. So that means near about 6 watt of power is given to this reflex klystron. Okay. Next, to calculate output power, we have relation for output power, RF power, how to calculate PRF. For that PRF, or you can say it is PAC, which is equals to twice I naught V naught X J1X whole divided by 2 pi small n minus pi by 2. In some of the book it will be given as 2 pi capital N. In some of the book it will be given in terms of 2 pi small n minus pi by 2. Both are same. Need not to confuse with each other. Okay. So 2 I naught V naught x J1 x divided by 2 pi n minus pi by 2. Now what is this bunching factor and what is this J1 of x? This value will be given to you. Okay, x is called as a bunching parameter, bunching coefficient or parameter you can say, that already we have discussed. And J1 of x is the first Bessel function with respect to this value. So these values I am giving you. X value is 2.048 and J1 of x is 0.582. So these values will be given to you. Okay, if values are not given, directly you consider x value is 2.048. Okay, and J1 of x means it is a Bessel function. So Bessel function with respect to bunching factor is 0.582. Done. Small n value is how much? 2 pi by 2. So you need to substitute it. So what is V naught and I naught? V naught and I naught is a DC current and DC potential. So if I will multiply I naught into V naught, same 6 watt I am going to ask or I have to use. Then x value is 2.048. J1 of x is 0.582 divided by 2 into 3.14, because pi value is 3.14, n value is 2 as it is given n, and minus pi by 2. So this pi value also 3.14 you can substitute and you can solve it. So after calculation using your 1.36 watt you will get. If you calculate it with the help of calculator, substitute all this value, you will get your RF output power. So this is the RF output power, that is 1.36. Done. This is your input power, that is 6 watt, and at last efficiency I can calculate, that is PRF divided by PDC into 100. Okay, so PRF is 1.36, DC is how much? 6 into 100, which is equals to 22.66%. So this is my efficiency. So this is the simple calculation to determine input power, output power and efficiency for a particular given case of a reflex klystron. Now here other parameters are what? One is x, that is a bunching coefficient, a bunching parameter you can say, and similarly J1 of x is the Bessel function, because continuously n number of electrons are bunched together at a 3/4 positive half cycle of that RF cycle, and in which we are determining these particular values. Okay, so these factors are given, will be given to you, or if it is not given, directly you can consider x value is 2.048 and J1 of x is 0.582. Substitute this value over here, solve it, you can determine the RF output power. And if you are getting the RF output power greater than the input power, that means your calculation is wrong. Your RF output power must be less than your DC beam voltage and DC beam current. So once the RF output power is known, you can go for calculation of RF current also, IRF, that we have calculated in our derivation. So here I have not asked, means I will not calculate for IRF. Similarly VRF also you can determine. There are some relations are there, those relations already we have discussed. If question is asked with respect to RF current and RF potential, you have to go through with those relations. Here I have asked only for understanding purpose, what is the input potential, input power, what is the output power, and what is the efficiency of this reflex klystron. Okay, so here RF output power is less than the DC power as we have calculated, but you try to check if your RF output power is greater than the DC power, that means your calculation is wrong, something you have done mistake, so you have to rectify it. So your RF power must be less than your DC beam power. Then we can judge the efficiency is near about 22.66. Maximum efficiency for a reflex klystron is 22.7%. So here it is, we have got 22.66%. Okay, So this is one example. One more example we will take. Okay, so one more question. As you can see, a reflex klystron operate under following condition. Okay, so here certain conditions are given. Let's see what are the conditions are given. First, V naught means a DC beam voltage is given as 600 volt. Okay, L is equals to 1 millimeter. L means it is a repeller gap from the cavity to the repeller. What is the gap is available? That is L is equals to 1 millimeter. And R shunt. R shunt means there is one resistance which is a variable resistor whose value is 15 kilo ohm is given. In that figure we have seen. E by M ratio is 1.759 into 10 to the power 11. This is a constant value. And the resonating frequency is 9 gigahertz. Means your reflex klystron is operating at a frequency of 9 gigahertz. And the tube is oscillating at a peak of n is equals to 2, 3 by 4. N is equals to 2, 3 by 4 means which mode? As we know that capital N is equals to n plus 3 by 4. And this small n indicates the number of mode. Okay, number of mode. Now, as in a question, it is given as 2, 3 by 4. That means this I can write 12, 2 plus 3 by 4. Like this I can write. So, what is the value of n? Here the number of mode is 2. So, if n is equals to 2 by 3 is given means the number of mode will be 2. Mode. Assume that the transit time through the gap of a beam loading can be neglected. So transit time is neglected for the time being for this particular case. Okay. Now here what are the parameter we are going to determine? Let's see. First, find VR. VR means it is a repeller voltage. That negative potential what we provide to the repeller which will repel back the electron to the cavity gap, that potential we have to identify with the help of above conditions. Okay. Next, the direct current to be given to the micro gap voltage of 200 volt. Here it is indirectly asking about the DC current. DC potential is given as 200 volt. Whenever this gap voltage is given means it is a DC voltage. Okay. It's a DC beam voltage. So 200 is the DC beam voltage. You have to determine the DC current. And that current will be calculated with respect to this R, 15 kilo ohm. That we will see how to calculate. And at last, we have to calculate the efficiency under this condition. Means whatever the condition is given for this reflex klystron, for that we have to identify the efficiency. How we are calculating efficiency? Efficiency we are calculating as eta is equals to output power by input power into 100. Now in reflex klystron, what is the output power? Output power is PRF. What is the input power? It is a DC into 100. So the calculations are quite simple as previous one. So we have to calculate what? We have to calculate repeller potential, we have to calculate DC current, and we have to calculate the efficiency for this particular condition. So we'll start. So step by step we will see. So first, in order to determine the repeller voltage, I am using a relation V naught plus VR whole square is equals to 2 pi small n minus pi by 2 whole square divided by 8 omega square L square whole into E by M. So this ratio already we have derived while determining the velocity modulation. From that directly I have used this relation. I have not undergone those derivation, directly I have used this relation. Because here what are the unknown factors are there, let's see. And what are the known factors are there, we will see. Now according to this question, we have a beam voltage as DC beam voltage is 600 volt is given, DC beam voltage, and this gap voltage is our that RF potential whatever is available in that gap. For that we have to calculate the DC current. Okay, now the DC beam voltage is how much? 600. So V naught is equals to 600. So whatever the data is available, we will jot it down. Then what is the repeller distance? Repeller distance is 1 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter, because it is 1 millimeter. What is the number of mode? Number of mode is 2, because here we have n equals to 2, 3 by 4 means this much. And what is our resonating frequency? 9 gigahertz. 9 into 10 to the power 9 hertz. Okay. And what else? E by m is also given. So E by m is 1.759 into 10 to the power 11. It is a constant value. So E is the charge and m is the mass. So coulomb per kilogram you can write, or it is a this direct value we can substitute. Okay. Next, R shunt, RSH, which is in parallel, so 15 kilowatt. Okay. And what else is given? The rest of the parameter we have identified. Now V naught is the 600 volt. Substitute V naught. Which one is unknown? Repeller is unknown. VR is unknown. So here I will substitute 600 divided by 600 plus VR whole square. Done. Left hand side. Next, RHS is how much? It is 2 pi n. N is how much? 2. So it is 4 into 3.14 minus 3.14 divided by 2 whole square divided by 8 omega square, 2 pi f whole square into L square. Now in place of f, substitute this 9 into 10 to the power 9 hertz. In place of L, substitute 10 to the power minus 3. In place of rest of the thing, if you substitute, only the unknown factor is this VR. Okay, this unknown factor is only VR. So what I will do, I will take a square root both the side. So if I will take the square root both the side, here I will get 2 root 2, here I will get 2 pi f, here I will get L. Upper one is 3.14 minus 3.14 divided by 2, and here it is root over of 600, and denominator is 600 plus VR. And if you solve it, your VR near about VR is equals to 250 volt. You will get. With the help of calculator you can solve it, and you can determine your repeller voltage is near about 250 volt. So with the help of this relation, which is the velocity modulation relation, we can determine the repeller potential as 250. Now this repeller potential is known. Now we will go for the DC current. So let's see how we are determining the DC current. DC current. Okay, this is the repeller voltage. Repeller voltage. Okay. Now DC current. When we are determining this DC current, the beam coupling coefficient will come into picture. Here, if no information is given about beam coupling coefficient, take beta value as 1, because no information means the standard value of this beam coupling coefficient is 1. Okay, so beta is equals to 1 and V is equals to I2 into RSH, where I2 is equals to 2 I naught J1 of X. Okay, so this value we can determine as I naught is equals to 200 divided by 2 into 0.52 into 15 into 10 to the power 3. I naught is equals to 12.82 milliampere. So this is the DC current, 12.82 milliampere. Okay. Now how we have got this one? Let's see. This is the current or potential which is drop in that resistance RSH, which is outside, that is the means parallel, it is a shunt one which is connected to the repeller one. Okay. Now what is the potential drop across that one? That potential drop is given as 200 because that resistor or the shunt is connected with respect to this microwave gap. Okay, microwave gap, and the gap voltage is 200. So 200 is given, this one, this V2 is 200. V2 is 200 volt is given. In that, potential drop is across the RSH. This is RSH. RSH is how much? 15 kilo ohm. So that is I2 into RSH. But what is I2? I2 is, as we have calculated in our velocity modulation or the RF power, it is twice of I naught Jx then J1 of x, like that we are writing. But here I2 is equals to twice of I naught into J1 of x. Okay, x is the bunching parameter and a current is the twice current because it is traveling twice time, because once it will cross the gap, again it will return back to the gap. So that flow of electron will indicate the flow of current. So twice of I naught into J1 of x. So J1 of x is how much? 0.52. So here I have given 0.52. What is I naught? I naught we have to calculate. 2 is given, 2 is in denominator. V2 is how much? 200 volt. Substitute it, you will get 12.82 milliampere. So this is called as our DC beam current. So DC beam current is about 12.82 milliampere. Done. Next we have to calculate what is the efficiency. So efficiency, simple as it is, PRF divided by PDC into 100. Okay. For this, PDC is equals to how much? DC beam voltage into DC beam current. DC beam voltage is how much? 600 into 12.82 into 10 to the power minus 3. So here how much it will be? 0.6 into 12.82. Solve it with the help of calculator. You will determine as PDC is equals to 7.69 watt. Okay, so 7.69 watt is your PDC, or the DC potential which is provided at the input of a reflex klystron. So this is PDC. Now we have to calculate the PRF. Now PRF is the same relation what we have used in the previous question, that is PRF is equals to twice V naught I naught x J1 of x divided by 2 pi n minus pi by 2. Then substitute all those values. So here twice into 600 I naught is 12.82 milliampere 10 to the power minus 3. X and J1 of x, whatever the value we have chosen, given in the first one, same thing I will take. It is 2.058 into 0.52 divided by 2 into 3.14 into 2 minus 3.14 divided by 2. If you solve this, you will get near about 1.75 watt. I have calculated this, so I am writing directly. You can calculate with the help of calculator, and you can determine and you can match the values. Okay, so it is 1.75 watt. So my efficiency is PRF divided by PDC into 100. So our PDC is how much? 7.69. PRF is how much? 1.75 divided by 7.69 into 100. So your efficiency will come near about 22.75%. Okay, so this is the efficiency of the reflex klystron which is working under this sort of condition. Okay, if it is under this condition, my efficiency we will determine with respect to this. So all these parameters, calculate it step by step, use the formulas, substitute these values and determine the factors, determine the values. Okay, so next one more question we will take. This is 22.75% after determination of efficiency. Okay. So here one more question. As you can see, reflex klystron operated 5 gigahertz. So that means its operating frequency is 5 gigahertz with an anode voltage of 1000 volt. Anode voltage means the potential which is available in the anode, means in that cavity, and the cavity gap of 2 millimeter, means that cavity gap small d, means suppose this is my cavity. In this cavity all the electrons are crossing and bunch at a certain point. Okay, and this cavity is having a cavity gap. This is a cavity gap. So this distance is small d, which is given as 2 millimeter. And the potential available in this is 1000 volt. Okay, anode voltage is 1000 volt and gap voltage is 2 millimeter. Here we have to calculate the gap transit time. Gap transit time means what is the time period taken by an electron to cross this particular gap, and the optimum length of the drift region. Optimum length of the drift region means here we have a repeller and this is the optimum length of a drift region, means repeller space. Indirectly he is asking about the repeller space, means L. This is our repeller, this is our cavity, and the distance between the repeller and cavity is called as a drift region, or it is also called as a repeller space. So this is L. So we have to calculate time and then we have to calculate for this length, or anyone we will calculate first, then we will proceed. And what are the things? Assume that n is equals to 2 3 by 4. N is equals to 2 3 by 4 means the number of modes. Here number of modes is n equals to 2. Capital N is 2 3 by 4 means small n value is 2. And the repeller potential is minus 500 volt is given. Means this repeller one is negatively negative potential is provided so that the electrons will return back to the cavity. So that potential is minus 500 is given. So step by step we will see. We will see the transit time and what is the gap transit time and the optimum length for the drift region. So first of all we will identify what are the parameters are given and then we will start our calculation. So this is the solution. First, operating frequency is given, FR is equals to 5 gigahertz. Then the gap is given as 2 millimeter gap space, and DC beam voltage or the anode voltage is 1000 volt, and the peak number of mode is n is equals to 2. So these are the values that are given, as well as the repeller potential VR is minus 500 volt. Okay. Now first, how to determine the gap transit time? Gap transit time means TG. This is the gap transit time. And how it is related? It is related with respect to theta, the transit angle. So what is TG? TG is nothing but relationship between TG and what is the unit of TG? TG is nothing but second. Time period is second. So how to calculate this time period? Distance by velocity. So what is the distance? Distance is the gap and velocity is u naught. So this is my gap velocity. Now what is this u naught? U naught we have calculated that some value root over of v naught, that is the velocity modulation what we have seen. So that I will write u naught is equals to 0.593 into 10 to the power 6 root over of v naught. Done. Root over of DC beam potential. So here I will substitute 0.593 10 to the power 6 and 1000 volt. If you solve this, you will get your velocity is around 18.75 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. Done. Now once this velocity is known, distance is given, that is the gap. How much gap? Gap is 2 millimeter is given. Just you need to divide it to identify the gap time period, transit gap period. So Tg is equals to d divided by velocity. D is how much? 2 millimeter. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 3. And what is the velocity? Velocity is 18.75 into 10 to the power 6. So if you solve this, your Tg will become if you solve this, you will get your values 2 divided by 18.75 into 10 to the power 9. Okay. So here 1 divided by 9, because it is 2 is 9, then 3, then 7. Okay, 9.37 into 10 to the power minus 6. So 1 divided by 9.37 nanosecond. So this is the Tg. Now with the help of calculator, solve this ratio 1 by 9.37 in nanosecond, 10 to the power 9 minus 9. So this 6 will go up, it will become as a 10 to the power minus 9. Okay. So this is the transit gap time. Okay. So here calculate gap transit time. Now here if they ask about what is the transit angle, so what will be our answer? Transit angle theta g is equals to omega Tg. Simple. So what is omega? Omega is equals to 2 pi f into Tg. So what is 2 pi f? F is how much? 5 gigahertz is given. So 2 into 3.14 into 5 into 10 to the power 9, and Tg is how much? 1 by 9.37 into 10 to the power minus 9. So this 9 will cancel out. Here you can find out that it is 10, so it is 31.4 divided by 9.37 radian. Okay, so if you calculate it, near about 3.33 radian will come. Okay, so this is our transit angle, this is our transit time period. Over. Simple calculation. So this is the gap time period. Next we have to calculate what is the optimum length of the drift region. Optimum length of the drift region means what is the repeller space. Now for repeller space, in previous example we have seen how we have calculated the repeller space. Similar to that, we have to again calculate the repeller space. So let me erase it. So repeller space can be identified with the help of the relation V naught divided by V naught plus VR whole square 2 pi small n minus pi by 2 whole square divided by omega square L square E by M into E by M. Now here all the factors are known. Which one is unknown? L is unknown. Take this L outside. So here L square is equals to 2 pi n minus pi by 2 whole square divided by 8 omega square into V naught E by M into 1 by into V naught plus VR whole square. Take this root, this right hand side, you will get 2 pi n minus pi by 2 whole divided by 2 root 2, 8 square root is 2 root 2 omega into V naught to the power half E by M, that is root over of E by M, and V naught plus VR. So square root value is this much. Now whatever the values are given, substitute here. So what are the values are given? N value is given. N is how much? 2. N is 2. Here N is 2. Next E by M. So E by M value is constant, that is 1.759 into 10 to the power 11. Use this value over here, root over of that. Then omega is how much? 2 pi f. F is how much? 5 gigahertz. So 2 pi f, substitute the value. V naught is how much? V naught is 1000. Substitute the value. Now VR is how much? Minus 500. So substitute minus 500 here. So because repeller potential is minus 500. After substituting all these values, you will get L is equals to 2.54 millimeter. After substituting each values in this equation, we will get our repeller space distance is 2.54 millimeter. So like this, the questions will come in your exam, and you have to go through each and every relation. If you understand the derivation, it is easy to calculate. Any sort of question is given, if you remember the derivations, it is quite easy to solve this sort of questions. Okay. One more question we will take. Okay. So here one more question. Is a reflex klystron operate at 9 GHz. That means operating frequency is 9 GHz is given. Okay. With DC beam current and voltage is 30 milliampere and 361 volt. Means your I naught is 30 milliampere and V naught is 361 volt with operating frequency 9 gigahertz. And repeller space is also given. L is equals to 0.1 centimeter and capital N is equals to 2, 3 by 4. Means a small n value is 2. Okay. Here we are determining maximum power, maximum output power, means RF power we have to calculate, and the operating repeller potential. Operating repeller potential means you have to calculate VR. So step by step we will solve it and we will see how to calculate repeller potential and the maximum output power. So first we are determining the repeller potential. So we will use the same relation, V naught plus VR whole square is equals to 2 pi n minus pi by 2 whole square divided by 8 omega square L square E by M. Done. So here which factor is unknown? Unknown factor is VR. V naught is how much? V naught is 361. Substitute in numerator and denominator. Then small n value is how much? Small n value is 2. Substitute here, solve it. And then omega value is how much? Omega is equals to 2 pi f. Substitute the value here. L value is also given 0.1 centimeter, convert into meter. and then E by M ratio is a constant value, that is 1.759 into 10 to the power 11. Substitute this value here. So after substitution, your repeller potential VR is equals to 297 volt you are going to determine. Okay, we will achieve your repeller potential as 297. So this is your 297 volt. So this is our first answer. Next we are going to calculate what is our output RF power, RF output power. Okay, for that step by step we will see. PRF is equals to twice of I naught V naught x J1 of x divided by, either you can write 2 pi n, 2 pi small n minus pi by 2, or capital N we can write, same value. Done. So if I am going to substitute each and every value, 2 I naught is how much? 30 milliampere. V naught is how much? 361. X is how much? How to determine X? X is the bunching parameter. It is pi n beta V1 divided by V naught. So here this bunching parameter I depend upon beam coupling coefficient. So B beta is equals to 1, n value is 2, 3 by 4, V1 and V naught. So V naught is the DC beam voltage, V1 is the RF potential. So here RF potential is not given. So with respect to this n 2 by 3, X value is determined. So X value is taken as X is equals to 2.408 and J1 of X into X we will get around 1.252. This we have a graph, okay, we have a chart with respect to Bessel function and with respect to this X parameter, bunching parameter. So if you see that 2.408 with respect to that X1 J1 of X value is 1.252. We have that figure. If you refer any sort of this micro book, at the end appendix will be given in which these chart diagrams are there. Only you have to identify the value. So this value will be given and you have to determine what is the value of X into J1 of X. So here I have given the direct value. Substitute this value over here and you will get, so here it is 2.408 into 1.252, or here you can write 0.582 divided by 2 pi into 2 minus pi by 2. So PRF you are going to determine 2.34 watt. So this is the RF power, RF output power. So this is the RF output power. Determine the maximum output power means this is the RF output power. Okay. Now this is the RF output power, and then again if efficiency is calculated, then PRF divided by PDC into 100 you have to calculate. That's it. Simple. So PRF is how much? 2.34 watt. PDC is how much? 361 into 30 milliwatt. How much it will be? 361 30 divided by 1000. So it is 3. It is 18 9 is 10 divided by 100. So it is 10.83. So here I will substitute 10.83 into 100 with the help of calculator. 2 divided by, so if I will take near about 2 and near about 10, so here it will become how much? 1 by 5, and this is near about 20% efficiency. Over. So it is a simple calculation to determine the repeller space and the RF output power, and then you can go for the efficiency. here you can see there are two figures are there. Now the question comes, what is this figure? Basically, with the help of this repeller potential, we can directly calculate the frequency as well as the potential. Okay, with the help of repeller potential, the frequency can also be calculated by varying its potential with respect to the DC beam voltage. Okay, that is one. And one more is the output power. This repeller potential can also control the output RF power, because as much as the repeller potential, the negative potential increases, the electron beams which is moving toward it is repelled back to the cavity. As much as the strongness of a repeller potential, the electron beam will return back to the cavity gap with a more faster way. Okay, so these are the two advantages of repeller potential. With the help of repeller potential, we can determine the frequency component, in which frequency the repeller, in which frequency that whole reflex klystron is operating. First, second, the output power can also be identified with the help of our repeller potential. That calculation we have seen. Okay, and with the variation of repeller space also. Okay, because these are the fundamental terms, and how we are going to see that which particular mode, with a less mode, how that maximum frequency or maximum output is determined, as what we have discussed in the previous class. As the number of mode increases, the output power reduces. Okay, so this particular figure, you can see that upper part is with respect to the frequency component. You can see this difference is nothing but del f. It is a bandwidth. Okay, so bandwidth remains constant, but the amplitude change. How? As you can see in the lower part, here the mode is 1 3/4. So you can see the amplitude is quite more. That means maximum output we can observe at the n is equals to 1, and even n is equals to 0 means 3/4 means 3/4 of a positive half cycle we are going to determine the maximum output. So here it is 3/4 of a particular one complete cycle and 3/4 of one more cycle in which maximum output is obtained. Similarly, lower, if it is, we are going to the higher number of modes. If it is 2 3/4, then the amplitude of the potential is reduces. Then again, if you go for the higher one, 3 3/4, amplitude of the output reduces, because the number of modes increases means the output potential is reduced. So this particular figure itself indicates that with the variation of the output, your band remain constant, bandwidth. Here you can see the difference between two frequency component. Here let us consider it is F1 and here it is considered F2. So if your potential output varies, your frequency remain constant. Now once these particular values are interrelated with each other, then we can determine the output frequency or the operating frequency of a reflex klystron and the output power of a reflex klystron with the help of a repeller potential, because the number of modes are calculated with respect to this repeller potential. Here in denominator, in this axis, x-axis, you can see that VR I have written. This is the potential. So when we are giving the maximum output, when the number of mode is less. When we are giving the output as minimum output, when the number of mode is high. That relation we are going to see in this particular discussion. Now here I have considered the RF output power, because my motive is to generate the RF output power. So what is our relation? It is 0.3986 V naught I naught. Now from where this 0.3986 came? It is the optimum value. The optimum value of what? The optimum value of twice of x J1 of x. Okay, x is the bunching parameter, J1 of x is the Bessel function with respect to that bunching factor. So directly I have multiplied this whole value and determined as a 0.3986 into V naught into Y naught divided by 2FL V naught plus VR root over of E by 2M V naught. Here the RF output power is represented in terms of repeller potential. So repeller potential I have written in terms of V naught plus VR. This is also one relation. If you disseminate the output power with respect to the repeller potential, you will get this sort of relations. It is one sort of two-step relation. I am not discussing that one. You can go through by yourself. So directly I have written this one. Okay. Now here I will rearrange it. So it is 0.3986 V naught I naught divided by 2FL V naught plus VR root over of E by 2m into V naught. So here it is inversely proportional to the frequency, operating frequency, as well as inversely proportional to the repeller space. So if the frequency component is high, the output power is going to be less. So here you can see the frequency remain constant, but the output power is high. How it is high? With respect to less number of modes. Here you can see it is 1 3/4 means maximum output is available. Then 2 3/4 less than this. Then 3 3/4 less than this. Now in this relation, this output power, we can determine the operating frequency. You take this F here and output power divided with respect to this value. So V naught plus VR whole into N divided by L into root over of V naught 6.74 into 10 to the power minus 2. Now 6.74 into 10 to the power minus 2 means you solve this, you will get this sort of value. Okay. So here operating frequency is V naught plus VR whole into N L into root over of V naught 6.74 into 10 to the power minus 2. Rearrange these values, you can determine the repeller potential also, because here we have repeller potential. If you rearrange this value, you will get root over of 8m by E FL by N root V naught minus V naught. So this is my repeller potential. So with the help of the DC current, with the help of this frequency, with the help of this number of modes, you can determine what is the repeller potential. Okay. So in this equation we can conclude that now next 6.7 into 10 to the power minus 6 means it is root over of 8m by E. M is the mass of electron, E is the charge of electron. If you solve this root over of 8m by E, you will get 6.74375 10 to the power minus 6. Rest of the value remain as it is. F into L divided by N root over of V naught minus V naught. Now at what is the maximum frequency, we can determine the repeller potential. Only the thing what we have to do, we have to differentiate the repeller equation with respect to frequency. So if you differentiate this equation with respect to maximum frequency, you will get 6.7437 into 10 to the power minus 6. Differentiation with respect to F is 1. Here you will get L by N root over of V naught, and this is a constant value, so that is eliminated. So we will get dVr by dF is equals to 6.735 into 10 to the power minus 6 root over of V naught into L divided by N. So this is my relation. With the help of this relation also we can determine the repeller potential. So this repeller potential controls the operating frequency and the output RF power. Okay. So with respect to this we will solve two numerical and then we will wind up. Almost time is over. I have seen that already 54 minutes we have covered. So with respect to this relation, I will prepare one more video in which we will discuss few more questions with respect to reflex klystron as well as the questions related to this repeller potential with respect to frequency and with respect to the RF output power. For the time being, we will wind up at this point. Again, we will discuss the remaining part and then we will go for the transmission line parameters next class. Thank you all.